Now, firstly, Leon, tell us, why is the right mindset so important in business?
Look, it's extremely important. It's all about mindset. If you start, business is about, I'll call it the inner game. It's all about the mindset. It's all about what happens in your head eventually. And you need to cultivate the mindset of a champion, and that's why we've got Rassie here today, because I'd like to find out a little bit more about, a sportsman mindset and how that actually applies to business. Because what people see and what they think they see is something totally different.
Okay.
What I mean by that is you always see the sportsman standing on the podium. He's number one. He won. And you've also got the people, guys on racing tracks and so on.
Yeah.
You never realize what actually goes in the amount of hours that these guys like Rassie spend, the disappointments they have, and I actually want him to talk a bit about that, and we'll get into that a bit later. But, people don't see the failures, the disappointments. They don't see the hard work.
Yeah.
They only see, wow.
I think it's just running and chasing after a ball.
Correct. I've always got this picture in my mind of this guy sitting in front of the TV, and he's actually watching Wimbledon tennis, and he sees Roger Federer, and in his mind he says, I want to be Roger Federer, and he takes his next beer, so he doesn't do anything about it. So,
exactly.
So that's why it's so important to have that mindset. It's all about not giving up. It's all about endurance. It's all about what is that mindset that you require in business? Because a sportsman's mindset and what you need in business is very much the same. And that is why we need to find out from a top sportsman today, which is Rassie. And Rassie, welcome over here. Thank you for joining us. I know Rassie, and I told you earlier, Luco, there was a long time ago, there was a presenter called David Gresham. A lot of our listeners will actually remember, will remember him. And he was on Springbok Radio, and he always said, keep your feet on the ground and reach for the stars. So you get some sportsmen that actually
keep their feet on the ground.
They don't keep their feet on the ground. They've got these big egos.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say, knowing Rassie, he's one of those people that says, listen, his feet is on the ground and he's
still reaching for the stars.
A very humble person, and welcome, Rassie.
Yeah. Sorry for making you feel awkward. I know when people start talking about you, like, can we pass now? Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, Rassie. Always great to have great and prominent people in our midst. Now, tell us, people always see just the success stories. Has it always just been easy for you to reach the top of your sport?
Yeah, not at all. I think Leon is spot on there. People see one thing and they sort of form a perception. And I mean, when I made my debut for South Africa, which was last year in T20 cricket, and a few months later in one-day cricket, I saw stories in the news. Overnight sensation for Dussen.
And you're thinking, overnight?
I'm thinking I was 29 years old at the time. By that time, I'd been playing professional cricket probably for about 10 years. And
suddenly overnight.
Yeah, but obviously people don't. A lot of people don't watch domestic cricket or provincial cricket for that matter. And so it definitely hasn't always been easy. I've taken the long road, but in saying that, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm grateful to be where I am, and 2-3 years ago, when you start getting 27, 28 people ask you, do you think you're still going to play for your country? And
sure.
And you say, you know what, it's still a dream and a goal, but at that time I said, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but I'm still going to try.
I was about to ask, didn't you have a moment where you were like, I'm not exactly growing young, and the thing is with sport, it goes with age. Didn't you have a moment where you're like, I don't know if this dream is really that valid anymore?
No, not that moment. Because the dream will always be valid. I think it doesn't matter which age you are. And for me, I sort of never let go of that dream. But I said, okay, let me rather focus on trying to be the best that I can be.
Yeah.
Keep improving, and if it happens, it happens. But if it happens, there's something else destined. So I think having that mindset of just continually trying to improve and making sure that I get better as a player, as a person, and just being ready for that opportunity if it comes.
Oh, wow. I love that. Talk about...
How many hours per day do you actually practice?
It varies in season. Obviously more than when you have some time off. But you're looking at batting practice at around 2 hours a day. Then you have to make sure you do your conditioning. That's about another 2 hours. Fielding is a massive part of cricket these days. You have to do at least half an hour to an hour of that. So you're looking a full day. You're looking at between anywhere from 4 to 6 to 7 hours. Obviously all physical activity, so it's quite draining. And then things like recovery come in. It's another one of those things that you don't or people don't really know about, but recovery is just as important as training. And that's another hour or two.
Yeah, I think look, I want to bring it. I need to bring it back to the business side now again. With Rassie's talking about, and I heard three things over here: dreams, goals, and hard work.
Okay.
So that's exactly the same as in business. You need to have that dream. I mean, Rassie, obviously, you had the dream to reach the top of your sport, which you had, which you've already done. I mean, he had a dream to play for the Proteas, and that's the vision that he had a vision. He had that clarity of vision to say, I want to play for the Proteas. I want to be the top, and he's one of the top batsmen. I can tell you now. I know cricket fairly well, and I can tell you now, he's one of the top batsmen in the world at this point in time, and I really want to congratulate him on that. And that doesn't come without disappointments. That doesn't come without hard work. But he had a dream, he had a vision, he had a goal, and hard work that goes along with it. It's exactly the same in business. You have to bring that back to so it's exactly the same mentality that you have to imprint on your business as well.
True. And I'm actually listening to him saying, had people obviously asked, but do you really think it's going to happen? Do you think you're going to play for the Proteas one day? So that in itself is a sense of opposition. We have to deal with that truth. It's a sense of opposition, which may get you to a point of doubting yourself, which is why your mind is so important. Wow. Now tell us, how do you actually prepare mentally for the game?
Yeah, I think in a sports sense, preparation is just as important as anything else. For me and for us, you need to make sure you analyze the opposition, and in the teams you play in, you always have analysts that show you footage of me as a batter, the bowlers I'm going to come up against, what those bowlers do with the ball, percentage of bounces they bowl, Yorkers, where they're going to target you. You also reverse engineer your own game to say, okay, this is probably where I'm not as strong as my other strengths, so this is probably where they're going to target. So you're ready for whatever they throw to you. So in terms of that, and once you've done that preparation in terms of training, and in terms of knowing what you're gonna get or come up against, it's mental. Like Jordaan says, that mindset of making sure every ball you are 100% at your best, 100% focused. And then, I mean, sports is a funny thing. You do everything right. Sometimes it goes your way. Sometimes
it doesn't
go your way. So that's where you just got to stay strong mentally and keep doing the things that you know work for you. And it just pays off.
I'm amazed at how you're saying you have to pre-calculate what another person may find as your weakness. And that's what people are pretty much waiting for, even in sports. You to fail in a certain area, and you have to be strong for yourself and ready to counterattack that.
Yeah, it forces you to be really honest with yourself in terms of your game, and I think it's applicable to life as well, in business as well. I mean, you have to sit and look at, listen, where are my weaknesses? Where in the last 10 innings have I gone out?
Yeah.
Because what I'm seeing, the opposition analysts and opposition bowlers are also seeing. So that's what they're going to target. And you got to be ready for it. And like I said, it forces you to own up to your weaknesses and deal with them.
Wow.
Yeah, look, I think what Rassie is saying is so important, and he actually mentioned it. They actually analyze the opposition, and you analyze the opposition to give you that competitive edge, to differentiate yourself from the competition.
Exactly.
It's exactly the same in business. I find so many business people, they do the same old every day. They're in a groove. They actually go on.
Hope for different results.
They don't analyze their competition. They don't do market comparisons. They don't know what their competition is doing. So, and that is what a sportsman like Rassie, and that is the mental preparation that you need to do. You need to go out and you need to go and sell yourself every day when you're when you're in business. And what gives you that competitive edge is if you know exactly, if you're mentally prepared to go out and go the extra mile as well. And that's exactly what they do as sports people.
Wow. We're going to get back in a short bit from now. Just one more song, and we'll continue with more questions and just find out how important it is for you and I to be good and competitive in this business space. 7th Time Down coming out with Brand New Day brings us to the bottom of the hour. It's 1:30. Sitting with myself, Lukom Kwedi, on the hour of the impact once again from the Nethold Group, joined by Leon Jordaan as well as South African Protea's player who goes by the name Rassie van der Dussen. And we're talking about a sportsman's mindset today. Quite an interesting one, I have to say. If you've missed the first part of it, don't worry. You can always catch it on our Facebook page a bit later on. Obviously, for now, it's going to take you from where we are. But a bit later on, you can always go back to our Facebook page and find out what it is that we were really dealing with. Back to Rassie. Rassie, tell me, every game has a game plan. How do you actually adapt if the game plan does not work out?
Yeah, that's probably a constant in sport, and I suppose you can pull it through to life as well. You prepare the best way you can, and you analyze in terms of the opposition that you're going to come up against, like I mentioned earlier. But sometimes, you get to a field and the pitch plays different than you thought, or the opposition might play different players that you anticipated would take the field, and then you got to be adaptable in cricket, and I suppose in any sport and in life we always talk about being adaptable. So whatever game plans the other team throws your way, you got to be able to think on your feet and again read the situation and sort of objectively look at it and say, okay, if they're gonna use this bowler with this field placing, this is probably what they're going to look to do, and this is my way of countering it. Every player has their own strengths and weaknesses, their own ways to go about it. But yeah, adaptability in our sport is massive.
You actually touched on something so interesting. If they happen to field a different player than you would have thought, obviously you suddenly have to change how you would have perceived your game from that point forth. So it really is a matter of the mind.
Yeah, it is. And again, you don't have a lot of time to adapt, but you got to sort of keep that presence of mind to that's where your preparation comes in again. This a guy that you're coming up against, what does he do? Have I done my homework on him? Do I know his strengths and weaknesses? And how can I come out on top of him? So, it's difficult. Sometimes there's 50,000 people watching, there's TVs, there's music playing, and you got to clear your mind then and think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure this relates a whole lot to business, actually.
Quite a lot. But you can only be adaptable if you know what your goals are. If you've got a strategic framework that you're working within, and if you haven't defined that properly, and I think Rassie will agree with that. I mean, they've got a game plan that they've defined. They know the framework that they have to work within and to adapt within that framework. Am I right if I'm saying that?
100%.
Rassie, and it's exactly the same in business. You need to have a strategic framework. You need to know exactly where you're going to, and within that framework, you need to make decisions.
Yeah.
And if you make decisions within that framework, you know that you're still on the right track. But as soon as you go outside of that
framework, throws you off.
That is where you're either going to lose serious games or you're going to lose in business as well.
So Rassie's not only talking as a sportsman, he understands the perspective of business as well, I believe. You actually have your own business venture. What business do you have, and how do you apply your mindset as a top sportsman in your business?
Yeah, look, I'm going to tread carefully here because I've got an actual businessman sitting next to me. But I have a company on the side. It's called Freedom, FRDM, www.frdm.co.za. And we do basically lifestyle apparel, sunglasses, flip-flops.
Oh, wow.
Just things that I want to wear. We're expanding into clothing soon, but we're not there yet. But yeah, it's something myself and a few other guys have run on the side, and it's taught me a lot of lessons, taught me what to do and what not to do, which is just as important sometimes. And yeah, it's been going pretty well. It's something totally different from sport and from cricket, and I enjoy the challenges, but definitely a lot of similarities that come with it. A lot of adaptability. I mean, in business, you got to make decisions quickly, and I mean, I'm in a small business. I can imagine how it is in big corporate out there. So I think there's a lot of comparisons there that you can draw.
Yeah, I thought you'd have my flip flops with you, but anyhow.
I figured your size.
Okay.
Yeah, look, I think Rassie's got his business, but he's also got there's also the brand Rassie van der Dussen that Sportsman has a brand. They've got a brand that they have to uphold and that they have to promote. And the same principles apply whether you've got a business or whether you've got a brand. Whether it's Rassie van der Dussen as a brand. A couple of years ago, nobody knew who Rassie van der Dussen was.
Exactly.
Now all over the world, you've got 200 million viewers. That knows that over 200 million viewers that knows who Rassie van der Dussen is.
Exactly.
So if you just say Rassie van der Dussen, and he's got a very special, unique name as well, so that makes it nice for him. It's a unique brand that he's got. And
do you actually know what your name means? Rassie.
What my name means?
Yeah.
Well, it stems from Erasmus, which is a Dutch name.
Oh, okay. Back to you, Leon. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no. So I think it's very important that he has to apply business principles to his own brand as well as to his business brand that he's promoting.
Exactly. Sure. So he's pretty much in charge of two brands here. Your clothing brand and you as a brand. And I love, we were talking about this these past few weeks, how we are sole proprietors also in how we manage our finances as well, and how you are a business in yourself actually. So Leon, the courses that you provide, contain lessons on how to actually cultivate and develop the right mindset of business. Now, where can our listeners actually obtain these courses? We're back to our courses now.
Yeah, so we're back to the courses.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Let's not lose focus.
Right. Let's go back to the Impact Facebook page.
Okay.
So there's a link that's been posted. There's one that's been posted today. It's called Change Your Mindset. So go and click on it. There's an article there that they can actually have a look at. There's a very interesting video that's posted on the link as well of Arnold Schwarzenegger. So it's nearly like the brand. It's a brand as well.
Okay.
Like Rassie van der Dussen, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, very unique names that you've got. And what's so interesting of what Arnold was saying in the video is how he just never gave up. He grew up in Austria, and that is it's just amazing how he actually, as a bodybuilder, he wanted to become a bodybuilder because they don't have bodybuilders in Austria. And everybody was saying to him, his family, you can't do it, you will never achieve it. Look what happened. Then he wanted to go into acting. He really had this vision, and everybody was saying, but a name like Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's this? What is nobody's going to take to that.
Sure, you don't want to change it.
You're this bulky guy now, and you've got this weird accent. So what happened was he actually had his first movie was Hercules. That wasn't a very good movie. And then he had his big breakthrough came with Conan the Barbarian, and how that actually worked. And Steven Spielberg apparently was the director. And what he said afterwards was that if he didn't have Arnold, he would have had to build a Conan the Barbarian. Would have had to build somebody, and he had a natural, and that's where his big break came. And where everybody was criticizing him on his accent that he had, it's so interesting that when he did Terminator, they said, but Terminator would never have actually worked if it wasn't for Arnold, because he had this robot voice.
Exactly.
Now his accent became an asset.
Exactly.
And he just never gave up. So that's why that sportsman's mentality is so important in business as well. So go to the Facebook page, go and have a look at it's on the article. It's a blog post that we did. It's on the article. Have a look at the video clip. It is really amazing. And then also they can go to www.entrepreneurtrainingcourses.com. But then they can use the a coupon code IMPACT Impact for Impact Radio, BIZ for a 20% discount.
Oh, wow.
So really go to it. The one thing that I just need to mention, and I mentioned it last week as well, is that the prices are charged in US dollars, and the main reason for that is we use PayPal as a payment gateway. So we use PayPal because it's totally secure. We want to avoid people trying to do fraud and all those type of things. But the shopping cart doesn't allow South African rand on it. So that is why, with the combination with PayPal, that is why the prices are in US dollars. So go and have a look at that. You can also make contact with us through our Twitter account, as well as go to our Facebook page called Small Business Opportunity Ideas, and then. Also, what's quite important, if you actually missed the show or you wanted to refer somebody to this program, we've got an on-radio button on our website, on entrepreneurtrainingcourses.com.
Oh, wow.
And as soon as we receive it from Impact Radio, we actually post it and the podcast is there. So then the other contact point is also, which is a lot easier to remember, is our company, which is called nethold.co.za or the Nethold Property Group. Go to the webpage. The link is there.
Okay.
And then there's 2 free ebooks that we're giving away at this point in time. So go to our webpage. The one is how to make money without a product. We talked about that. You've got Uber, which is the biggest taxi company in the world, and they don't have any cars.
Exactly.
And Airbnb,
they don't have any accommodation to get it.
They're the biggest accommodation provider, but they don't have any property. So go and have a look at that. It's a very nice ebook to actually read. And then the other one is also why every person should do an entrepreneur course. And then Rassie, we've got a gift for you.
Oh, wow.
Over here. So from our commercial property division in the Nethold Group, they have actually decided they want to sponsor you with one of our courses, which
beautiful.
Which is the step-by-step guide to business success. So Rassie, really go and have a look at it. We'd really hope that you're going to come back in a couple of months and tell us how that actually helped. And the whole idea is go to it, go back to basics, and. So there's a sponsorship for you.
Definitely. Thank you very much. And I mean, I was mentioning earlier about trying to improve as a player and as a person. And I mean, things like this is one of those practical examples.
Exactly.
I love things like this. So, I mean, I'm going to read those ebooks as well.
You want the ebooks as well? Definitely.
If I can improve.
Can I put you on the spot?
Yeah, definitely.
If you were a musician, I was going to say sing, but you're not a musician. And you're a sportsman. We can't see what you're going to do. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask, where to from here, any records you're looking to break? I want to put pressure on you so that you know to keep yourself accountable, and we'll be waiting to see you get to that level.
Yeah, I think in the immediate future, in the last probably year has been really good for me. I've broken into the national side. So in the immediate future is to really just cement my place in the side, keep on improving, keep on doing well. For a sportsman, and for me, it's about match-winning performances for the team.
Okay.
So I want to contribute to the team as much as I can. And a winning team is a happy team. So and then I suppose the sky's the limit. I think a thing that I've learned over the last couple of years is if you keep on just trying to improve yourself and like Dion says, keep with the basics. Make sure you forget about things that are out of your control.
Yeah.
Sports, selection, whatever it might be in business, heaps of other stuff. Control the things that you can control. Make sure that you're ready for an opportunity when it comes, and that's what I'll keep doing. And whatever happens.
Make sure you're ready for an opportunity when it comes. You're ready. You're ready. Oh wow! Thank you so much. Lastly, what will next week's topic be, Leon? What are we talking about next week?
We've got a guest as well. We've got Dr.
And we're blessed.
We're blessed with a lot of guests that we're getting in here. We've got Dr. Kobus Netling. He's from the South African Creativity Institute. Kobus is very knowledgeable, and we're going to talk about how to develop the right mindset for business.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, he's very knowledgeable on mindset and creativity. You know, he's actually written a book with Nas Botha as well. So we're very much into the sports,
Look.
arena. So, you know, and Kobus will really provide us with a lot of knowledge and a lot of added value next week when we have him on the show.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. All the best to you, sir. No choking now.
Not allowed to say
Thank you.
I'm just like,
Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. All the best with your future. And thanks to Mr. Leon Jordaan. Until next week, have a blessed afternoon.
How would you like to learn more about tried and tested processes on starting a business, optimizing and repositioning your current business, improving your bottom line, and excelling in your career? Join me every Wednesday at 13:15 on Impact Radio 103 FM on How to Win in Business.